What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope you guys are doing well out there on this beautiful Tuesday. I'm doing pretty good myself. Earlier when I woke up, I come across this breaking news right here that took place in Baltimore, Maryland, that involved the Francis Scott Key Bridge being hit by this barge right here that you see before you. As it is said, it's like 6 to 7 people that's unaccounted for, behind this particular incident right here. Francis Scott Key here is he has a very, very interesting history, if you understand what I'm saying. He's said to have been the one that has built this bridge right here, okay? Turns out that's not all he's responsible for doing. As a matter of fact, he is alleged to have wrote the Star Spangled Banner, okay? There's two versions of it. We're going to get into that after we listen to what actually took place with this barge hitting the Francis Scott Key Bridge. So without further ado, let's check this out.
Back to that breaking news out of Baltimore. We understand dive teams have been deployed now to rescue people in the water following that overnight bridge collapse. Reporter Rebecca Castor joining us live from the scene with the very latest from transportation officials. Good morning. What can you tell us?
Good morning. It is still a very active search and rescue operation here in Baltimore. The U.S. Coast Guard and other crews are out here searching for people believed to be in the water after the bridge collapsed overnight. They say they're looking for at least 7 people, but that is an estimate. They're still working to confirm exact numbers. They know that multiple vehicles were on the bridge at the time of the collapse, but the number of people inside each of those vehicles is still the question that they're trying to answer right now. Good news so far this morning is at least 2 people have been rescued so far. One of them had no injuries, the other one taken to the hospital with very serious injuries. And the ship, all the crew members on the ship have been accounted for, including 2 harbor pilots. So right now the FBI is investigating to determine what exactly caused the collision, but they say right now that there is no indication that this was happened intentionally.
Do you know, I know you're just getting this information coming in, but do you know if those were all workers on the bridge or if there were any, commuters or people overnight? I know it happened about 1 o'clock in the morning. Do we know anything more about the people who were on the bridge?
Yes, so we know it's a combination of both. We know several people were drivers that were in their vehicles, but there were also a group of concrete workers that were actively working on the bridge at the time of this collapse. So those people are unaccounted for as well.
Tell us, we did hear in a press conference just about an hour ago that there are no indications that this was any sort of intentional incident. We've seen in the video, it looks like the container ship may have had some mechanical issues or electric power issues because the lights sort of go on and off on that ship and then it sort of swings, it looks like, to hit the bridge. We're watching the video, just incredible to watch this bridge just collapse. What are you learning about possible causes of this?
Yeah. It's very shocking video indeed, and this is all going to be part of the deeper investigation into this. But what I can tell you is that this was in the very beginning of this ship's journey. They were headed to Sri Lanka and they were leaving from the port of Baltimore. So this was roughly about 20 minutes into their journey so far, and this is when the incident occurred. So some people have been asking, were the pilots drowsy? Were they traveling for too long? But that doesn't really seem like that's going to come into play here since it was in the very beginning of their trip.
All right, just such a tragic story and incident there. We're looking live again, and this is unfolding, the investigation and that search. Rebecca Castor, live from Baltimore. Thank you so much for that update. We'll check in with you throughout the morning.
I can't understand how these people can sit here while watching this same video that we are watching and say, do they have any information as to what caused the bridge to collapse? Do we not see this barge hitting one of the structural towers that would cause the bridge to collapse? You understand? Man, I'm telling you, it's a blessing from the Most High when He gives you common sense, because when you ain't got common sense, you through. And that's just all there is to it. I don't give a damn how much book knowledge you got. You can have all the book knowledge in the world. If you ain't got no common sense, you is done. And these folks, well, pretty much they done. Now, far as this bridge collapse go, this is of Francis Scott Key's life work right here. You understand? And I like to say, his life work, just like America, is coming to an end. Is actually crashing down. This is a prelude to what's to come to America. And after this particular solar eclipse coming up on April 8th of next month, we're going to see a lot of things rapidly change. I'm talking about rapidly change. And it's not going to be good for a lot of people. Now, to get to Francis Scott Key here. Like I said, he has a very interesting history here. He was basically from the Star Spangled Banner that he made. Well, I'll just like to say this. Let's just listen to the first version. Check this out. Now let's have a listen to the original version of the Star Spangled Banner.
Francis Scott Key wrote a poem that became the national anthem. It was called the Star Spangled Banner. Key, who was a lawyer, was said to have been racist, and so were the lyrics in a verse that was omitted from the original version of the poem. Let me tell you about it. I'm the young black mayor, your #1 history influencer. Francis Scott Key wrote the Star Spangled Banner on September 14, 1814, after witnessing a surprise attack by the British on Fort McHenry. This was the ending of the War of 1812. The poem was set to the tune of popular English music, written for a gentleman's club in London. For over 100 years, it was too controversial to be the national anthem. During the war, Great Britain offered land and freedom to any American slave who escaped and joined their army. There's a part of a verse which was removed that caused the controversy. The lyrics suggest that black slaves who escaped from bondage and joined the British Army to fight were not protected from death. It goes like this: no refuge can save the hireling or slave from the terror of flight or gloom of the grave. And the Star Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave. Some experts say the lyrics were used in hate. Others disagree. However, Key was a member of a wealthy slave-holding family, and he advocated for black people to be sent back to Africa if freed from slavery. About 4,000 slaves escaped to fight for the British, and Great Britain kept its word. Eventually, the verse was removed from Key's poem and adopted as the national anthem anyway. The verse was removed out of respect for the British, not out of respect for black Americans. On March 3rd, 1931, President Herbert Hoover signed a bill making the song our official anthem. This was a political victory for Southern whites. A parade took place in Baltimore. The color guard led the parade, flying the Confederate flag.
So there we have it, a little mild history lesson about Francis Scott Key, who was a known racist, and we heard the lyrics in that particular original version of the Star Spangled Banner. But like I said earlier on in this particular video right here, his life work will come crashing down, just like his bridge did. And it's just a prelude to what is to come to America. And that's basically what it all boils down to. Because, see, all of this racism and all of the things that took place, you understand what I mean, with our people and our ancestors, will not go on unanswered and unpunished. You understand? And I'm sure if Mr. Francis Scott Key could just come back and let us know, what's it like on the other side for him, it wouldn't be nice. It wouldn't be nice whatsoever. You understand? Because, a lot of those lyrics right there was very, very disrespectful, mean, hateful. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of things that we as a people participate in, you understand, like standing up for the Star Spangled Banner and all that old mess, and they train us to put our hands over our hearts and all that old kind of stuff. You understand? Wow, you're going to pay for that too. Because in ignorance, we did not know. We did not know. Just like when we drive across your bridge, we did not know what kind of a racist that actually built these things, made the Star Spangled Banner. We didn't know. But, as time grew, the Most High, woke me up to show me some things. Oh, I can guarantee you, I stopped with the foolishness. And I wouldn't teach my children none of this foolishness either. You understand? To stand up and put their hands on their chest while reciting this mess. And that's just what it is, because America's coming to an end anyway. And this bridge collapse, along with Francis Scott Key and everything else and all the rest of his cronies, well, it's over with. That's all I got on this one, people. I want you guys to tell me what you think about this particular situation right here. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on it in the comment section. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. People, please remember to live your life as though we're being watched. Simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.